Distribution provided by Cloud Sigma, the cloud that adapts to you. Visit cloudsigma.com/thisweekin for a free $200 credit.
Hey everybody, it's This Week in Startups. It's time for our Startup of the Week. I'm Jason Calacanis, and today on the program we have one of the Y Combinator 2012 companies, the summer of 2012. Referrally, it's going to be a great episode. Stick with us. Hey everybody, I'm Jason Calacanis, and this is This Week in Startups, the program where we talk about starting companies, changing the world, building products, trying to put a dent into the universe, trying to make something that makes everybody's life just a little bit better, more fun, more joy, maybe help people save time, maybe help them save money, maybe help them have a richer experience. You get the idea. And one of the things we had with the program was I was constantly doing the entrepreneurs who had the most experience, who had done 3 or 4 companies, and I realized, gosh, I want to have some of the more fresh, early stage companies, angel round, less than 6-month-old, 12-month-old companies, and so we started a great episode each week called the Startup of the Week. The Startup of the Week is not like the startup like Yammer or Zynga or Twitter. We're trying to go for the company that's just coming out of Y Combinator or Techstars, or maybe is trending on AngelList, under 12 months old or so. And this was made possible by our friends at SendGrid, who wanted to help do a program just like this, because SendGrid supports startups, and they do that because they're the industry leader in the delivery of transactional emails. In fact, they came out of an incubator themselves. They were part of Techstars. So if you're sending transactional emails, go over there and use their service. It's software as a service, API, easy to set up. You can set it up in minutes, and you can send 200 emails per day for free. What are transactional emails? Sign-up emails, friendship requests, all those emails you get from the services you start using. What if those go into a spam filter, which, spam filters are getting more and more conservative every day that goes on. And if you try to build your own solution to send emails just through a simple email server, you're probably going to get dinged, and you're not going to know the open rates, you're not going to know the metrics, and you may wind up in spam filters. And then people who might have been pulled back into your site because of social interactions, or maybe they wanted to get their password reset, they may never come back. And you don't want to lose those customers you worked hard to get in the first place. And a couple of successful people you may have heard of, Foursquare, Pinterest, StumbleUpon, and Pandora, all use SendGrid. Why do they do it? Because setting up all those email services is a pain in the neck, and it costs, you're going to have 3 or 4 people, 5 people working on just that instead of working on your product. So I think the people at Foursquare, Pinterest, and Pandora are pretty good proxy for what the right thing to do is, and the right thing to do is use SendGrid for your transactional emails. They are the pros at it, and I thank them for supporting this program, specifically the Startup of the Week. With me is Danielle Morrill. How are you doing, Danielle?
I'm well, thank you.
Danielle, sorry. So tell me about your startup. When did you start it, and what are you trying to do with it?
So we started in April, and we are just getting out of Y Combinator, the summer batch. And Referrally is a really simple tool where you recommend products, and then if those recommendations result in a sale or a sign-up, you get a cash reward.
So in a way like Pinterest, but with maybe an incentive.
Right. Everything on the site is a product, and all the products can be purchased.
Got it. So I can't, or I guess the fancy is similar to that too, where there's some sort of reason to do it beyond the social pieces.
Mm-hmm. Right. I think the fancy offers a commission as well.
Yeah. And so do you find that that's a significant motivator for people, or do you think the motivator is to actually say, I like this Mighty Leaf green tea? What do you think is the bigger driver?
I think the bigger driver is being an expert in some topic area. People already write extensive blogs around certain things. I think it's just an easier way to make that hobby into something that might become self-sustaining. But I don't think money alone is enough of a motivator. It just gives you a sense of how you're doing. It's a way of keeping score.
So I'm logged here in your account, and I'm looking at your rewards, and I just clicked on your stats, and I see that you've earned $90.
Yes.
I'm assuming that this is mostly the Amazon affiliate program?
So it's Amazon, but also we support about 30,000 merchants. So Nordstrom, Zappos, Walmart, a lot of other sites, Newegg, a lot of long-tail e-commerce sites as well.
And do you find that the long tail e-commerce sites are, typically have an affiliate program, or are they using some third party for it? How does that typically work?
They usually use a third party, so we plug in through different affiliate networks. The really long tail don't have affiliate programs, and we think we can help with that problem. But there are lots and lots of e-commerce sites that you might not immediately think of that are doing millions and millions of dollars of sales. So they generally do.
So Link Exchange or something like that, they're using one of the...
Or Commission Junction or Google Affiliate Network. Yeah. There's so many.
And I see here you made $8 off of referring people to the Moleskine journal
yes.
on Amazon.
I'm kind of surprised about that.
And how does that wind up happening? Is just people are on the site and they're using the site as a way to go buy stuff? Is that the...
Sometimes. They also, so in general, people promote products on their existing social communities, so Twitter, Facebook, on my blog, wherever I'm linking to products. We find that, obviously, we'd love to be a channel for distribution, but right now I have a much bigger following on Twitter than I do on Referrly.
Got it. So people are on your site, and then they make the links there, but they may share your short links somewhere else, like Twitter or Facebook or their blog.
Right, exactly. And we make it really easy. It's basically, the original concept was just, let's have a link shortener, and then let's make sure that every time someone puts a link through that shortener where it could be affiliated, we automatically do that so that you don't have to think about it. Because that's the biggest challenge for people who are publishing and want to make money is this merchant covered? Do I have to go sign up for another program? Do I have to wait 2 weeks to get approved? So we try to skip through all that and reduce a lot of the friction around that. A lot of people don't even really know what affiliate marketing is.
Yeah, it's like this weird, like, almost like, I don't want to say smarmy, but there's sort of like a weird contingent that's outside of Silicon Valley that's really involved in affiliate, and then the public doesn't even know it exists, and there's all these sort of SEO-driven affiliate, I don't want to say scams out there, but just it's like an undercurrent, an underworld.
Well, it's funny because it's actually a very legitimate way for e-commerce sites to make money, but people don't really talk about it. Maybe it's because it's kind of unsexy. But the other part is that for a long time, it's been very popular. If you figure out something that makes a lot of money, don't tell anyone. So we're trying to turn that inside out and say, you know what? Like, if products are great, you should tell everyone.
Got it. And so you guys will be figuring out which products are going to break out based on how often people repin them.
Yes, we get a lot of really interesting data because purchases tell you a lot more than retweets or clicks or impressions do. A purchase is the real intent that you're trying to figure out on the internet anyway.
Right, because I can see from looking at your statistics that the dresses you put up from Nasty Gal are getting the most clicks, but nobody's buying them.
And they just went up today too, so it might be a day or two before we'll know if they were purchased.
Yeah, and how do you mitigate against just somebody coming in and repinning everything and submitting everything and spamming the sort of ecosystem? Or does that not matter because you're not really like a destination site yet?
Well, there's a couple things that help. One is if you spam your friends on Twitter or Facebook, they're going to unfollow you or unfriend you. So there's a nice social mechanism to deal with spam in those networks. On Referrly, we rank on our front page. We have a live feed and we also have shopping pages, and we rank them by signal to noise ratio. So it's not good enough just to create a lot of links or get a lot of clicks. You actually have to get purchases to rank highly. So we kind of have our own concept of a score, although it's not exposed.
Now, what if you and I both put in, the iPhone 5? Who gets credit in the system for it? How does that work?
The person who generates the sale.
So there's one...
So we track individuals.
Yeah. Yeah, so when I'm looking at the site here, there might be, 100 people put in the jam box, and you'll just see it come up here. And then you'll list the ones that have the purchases. So if somebody buys something through this, then I might wind up on the homepage. Correct. Got it. So I might be incented to actually buy it. If the homepage ever becomes popular, I could just buy 3 copies and hope that I get the next... No, the math wouldn't work out, I guess. Because what affiliates typically pay today? 1%, 2%, 3%? It's a pretty big range. I mean, some of them pay over 10% depending on what the products are. The high-value products pay a lower percentage, but they have some kind of cap. We pretty much feel like 5% is a healthy average to help people expect, and we get the best deal that we can depending on the volume we're pushing. So e-commerce is on the low end, and then high-end stuff like electronics tend to pay better. And I'm sure the software stuff, right? The sort of apps and software space is more margin there, I guess?
Yeah, it's interesting. The SaaS space in general just hasn't really employed affiliate marketing yet. So the lifetime customer value of someone who signs up for, say, Salesforce is very high. So they pay out pretty well.
So if you can get somebody to sign up for Salesforce, you're going to be golden, because that's a couple of $1,000s a year for them. So tell me about the process of getting accepted to the highly competitive Y Combinator accelerator. What was that process like?
So I applied as a solo founder. I had built a really ugly prototype version of the site, nothing like what you see now, and got about 500 people using it. So I think that helped a lot. But I kind of applied at the last minute. My friends encouraged me because I was already on my way out of Twilio and I'd already quit my job. People just said, like, wait, why don't you just do this, give it a shot? And I actually applied the night before the deadline and you have to submit this video, and I just looked totally exhausted. But it's kind of a blur from that point. We were invited to interview, and I was already beginning to form a team. I'd hired a couple employees at that point. Got into the program after that one interview. Got a call as I was driving back up the 280, and I think I might have screamed and danced around in the car a little bit, and then we got back to work.
And what's your background? Are you a designer or a developer? Or?
So I'm a little bit of a jack of all trades. For the past 3.5 years, I was the head of marketing for Twilio. So I was leading different marketing activities around developers. Twilio is a platform for SMS and phone calls. So there I also became pretty technical. So actually let me have the skills to build the first version of Referly, which was very, very janky, but worked and got people using it. But I think my main thing is still kind of biz dev and marketing.
And so where do you take a business like this? What's the 5-year plan? In 5 years, what can you say about Referly that you hope to be true?
In 5 years, the mission is to make this the first place businesses go to acquire customers and the first place people go to find out opinions about products. So it's a marketplace. The idea on the business side, which we haven't talked about as much because we don't emphasize it, is you should be able to come to our site and tell us, I'm willing to pay $10 to acquire a customer, and then we should be able to help you acquire customers at that price. So instead of doing some kind of guesswork around clicks, you can be guaranteed you'll only pay X amount per new user or per new purchase on the business side. And then for users, we'd like to be able to offer the most comprehensive set of rewards and offers and deals and perks from all these different merchants, especially the ones who traditionally might not have had affiliate programs, like SaaS companies and a lot of the newer businesses that are just starting to do commerce online.
So you really have to educate all those people to sort of get involved in this.
Well, people already share products all the time, so I don't think that's too much of an issue, but it's more about basically getting people to understand that it's easy to make money this way, that this is a great way to have an extra $50 or $100 a month. I think this is a kind of product that's not just necessarily for the young and hip social media user. It could really be for anybody.
And how did your demo day go? What was that like?
Demo day is extremely fast, so you get 2 minutes and 15 seconds to present. So it's a blur. Obviously, you prep quite a bit, especially the last few days leading up to it. But it was really great. I mean, one of the biggest benefits of Y Combinator is certainly getting to meet investors and other people that you wouldn't necessarily run into anyway. So it was very exciting and definitely helped us achieve a bunch of our goals.
And when you come out of Y Combinator now, there's $250,000 in investment from, I guess, that new fund. Did you wind up taking that, and did you wind up getting other investors and raising around?
So we did take that money, and as far as raising other money, I can't really say anything about that until it's all.
Yeah, you're in process. Got it. Okay.
It's in process.
I can say that for you. Yes, we have to be careful.
Perfect. I'll use that next time.
We're in process. Yeah. So, and the market today, some people worried that the market was going to be over for angel investing, but I'm assuming the Y Combinator name and being part of that, it's basically pretty easy to get a meeting if you're a Y Combinator company, you think?
Yeah, I definitely think that helps. I think also, there are a lot of people whose job it is to put their money to work as investors, so they're always looking for exciting opportunities. So, as always, you have to stand out and really sell yourself, and that's certainly what we're trying to do. I think as far as the market, we'll see in the next few weeks what happens internationally. That's probably too early to tell.
What do you mean internationally?
Well, there's a lot of things going on. It's detailed, but Europe's market did really well this morning as a result of some news, and I think we'll see generally in October. So basically, what the market does definitely influences angels because they also invest in the public market. So
I see. Yeah.
I think the best thing to do would be to get around done before October.
Yeah, before the market collapses potentially with elections and insanity in in Europe with the euro and everything. Yeah, I would kind of agree with that. So let me put my angel investing hat on or my grumpy VC hat. The first thing I guess you're going to get from the grumpy VC is, how is this different than Pinterest, and what happens if Pinterest turns on affiliate links? How do you answer that kind of?
I think Pinterest did try to turn on affiliate links. And I don't think that worked out very well. From a user perspective, I think people were a bit surprised.
Yeah.
So I think one important aspect of what we're trying to do is be really upfront from the very beginning. This is a site where you're going to make money. This is how we monetize. This is what you can expect from us. It should not be a surprise to you at all.
And they backed down pretty quickly, right?
Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, internally, I don't know how long of a conversation that was, but I think it's a great business model for them. So I actually thought it was kind of a shame. And I wouldn't be shocked if some form of it reemerges down the road. I think it's a great business model for a lot of these social commerce sites. We have an API, so we actually feel like we could be the monetization engine for a lot of these great sites that are coming out. We're certainly not experts on social shopping. What we're experts on is on the reward side of things and on helping people be successful promoting products. So we actually see Pinterest, the Fancy, I guess Supply was acquired. Those guys all could be partners for us down the road if we get big enough to be worthwhile for them.
Because you're trying to put your expertise on the back end and the referral links and everything.
And we could be another distribution channel. Because at the end of the day, what really matters is, did someone buy something through your link? It doesn't actually matter whether that link is on your site or another site, as long as the purchase gets attributed back to whoever the publisher is. So we could potentially bring a broader number of purchasers to different sites.
So what has been hard about this process? What's the hardest part been of launching this company and the last 6 months for you?
Well, I think customer acquisition is the most important thing. This is a consumer product, so it's going to need massive scale to be truly successful. So I think it's just really about figuring out how to find people who are deeply passionate about things and want to get paid for it. It's not that it's hard. There's tons of people like that. They're just scattered all over the internet. There's no central place that you can really go right now. You find it on blogs, you find it on YouTube,
forums,
on different forums. Forums are amazing. Forums are unbelievable. In fact, that's probably the biggest discovery of the summer, is how incredible forums are. So just really going and reaching out to all those people. It's just a thing you have to spend a lot of time on, and that's what we're doing.
It seems like there's a whole this sort of like secret society of work from home moms and dads, I guess, too, but like typically people say work from home moms. But I don't know that it's gender specific and limited to people with children. This whole work from home movement, and I guess unemployment in the United States, has led to a large number of work from home forums and people out there who are just desperate to make money in any way they can.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I actually don't watch television very often, but when I go home and visit my parents, I'm actually shocked by how many ads there are for different get-rich-from-home programs and things like that. Obviously, there's also MLMs. There's Amway, Mary Kay, Cutco, all those things, direct selling. So people are doing a lot of creative things to make money in a tough economy.
And what do you think? How do you keep yourself from getting bucketed with these, I get all these spams about the Empower Network or something. I don't know what it's called, but I think there's one called Empower Network. But how do you keep your startup sort of in the nice, clean, we're part of the good affiliate thing, and not get into the sort of bucket of MLMs and the sort of cheesy, nasty side of the business? Because people could be making links on your site and then spamming people, and it's got your link in it, and then your links get banned by Gmail. What happens then?
So I think a big piece of this is that we focus very much on being straightforward with our users about the kind of usage that we'd like to see. So ideally, we'd like people to make recommendations that are backed up by more information than just the link. So writing a description. We monitor, where our content is getting embedded to the extent that we can, so we can get some sense. We do honor blacklists. Every affiliate network has blacklists that they have to enforce against certain sites that are spammy. So in a way, we just try to be a good actor. There are a lot of very respectable affiliate businesses, so we try to learn from them in terms of how they've handled these issues. Of course, there's always people who are going to do spammy things to try to make money, but we think that there's enough legitimate ways to make money here that we should just focus on having our early user base demonstrate the behavior that the rest of the user base should follow.
And how do you think Amazon looks at your business and social commerce in general? Do you think they're looking at this saying, this is something we need to figure out, or?
I think it's really hard to say. I mean, I get the impression that Amazon would love to do more in social, and I kind of always wonder what they're cooking up. But ultimately, anything that generates more revenue for Amazon is good.
Yeah.
So, and that's certainly what we're doing. So I think they view it favorably. I certainly hope they do.
And any thoughts on being a female founder? You hear a lot of people talking about, oh, there's no female founders, there's no female founders. Apparently, you're a female founder. We found one. How many were there in Y Combinator? And do you feel that you've been held back unfairly as a female founder, or do you feel it's more challenging just because you're a woman?
So to your first question, there were, I think, about a dozen female founders in our current batch.
So about 15%. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely low. I know quite a few female founders. I think we kind of band together a bit, so maybe our perception is a little different. As far as being held back, I really don't feel that. I guess maybe I'm just fortunate because so many other people have struggled a lot to get to the point where it's not an issue.
Right.
I think I felt it more in the corporate world, actually, than I do in startups. Just generally, people are misfits in startups anyway, so I don't really know if it's as much of a factor. I'm certainly sensitive to other people's concerns about it, but I personally feel like I've, if anything, maybe benefited by standing out a little bit more. I'm sure we all would love to stand out in any way we can as we promote our companies, but
yeah.
I feel like that's probably a disappointing answer for people who are watching, just because I think there are people who struggle, but I've been really fortunate just to work with great folks.
Well, I mean, I think it might actually be the truth. I mean, I don't think that there's a desire by people to hold back women in the technology industry. It just might be historically there haven't been as many, but it's encouraging to hear that, God, 15% of the class at Y Combinator was female. That seems like actually a very high number.
I mean, I can tell you that when I look at job applicants, very few engineer applicants, or really few applicants, period, are women. So there's this problematic effect of just there aren't enough women at every point in the funnel. So it's no shock that there are so few female founders. It's just I think it's a result of not having women throughout the entire kind of ecosystem. So it's probably more about solving the female employee at startups problem first, and then the female founders follow from that.
Okay, so everybody, just recapping, I'm here with Danielle Morrill, and she is the founder of, or maybe co-founder of Referrally, which is one of the Y Combinator companies. And so hiring in the Valley, we hear so much about the talent drought. You're located in, I guess, in the Valley, in Palo Alto now, but you're moving up to San Francisco. Is it impossible to find developers today?
No. I don't think so. We had an iOS developer start a couple days ago, and we just interviewed an amazing candidate. Today we'll probably hire. So we have a team of 6. We've been hiring throughout the summer. I think it's hard. I certainly think it's very competitive. To put it in perspective, we got a resume from someone who looked really promising yesterday, had a phone screen with him at 9 o'clock this morning. He was really great, and we decided to get lunch with him at noon, and we'll probably make an offer within the next 24 hours if we're going to work with him. So I think the pace is certainly really competitive.
Oh, wow. So 24-hour turnaround to hire somebody. And are you finding it's people coming from Facebook or Twitter or Zynga, like those companies peaked and now people want to reboot and be part of something smaller and more intimate? Or are they people coming to the Valley from outside of San Francisco, outside of the Valley, moving from Middle America or something?
So we haven't hired anyone from a big tech company. What we've seen is 2 of our folks moved here from Texas, and then another 2 came from other startups that were smaller, or startups that were further along in the process but maybe just hadn't grown, and people wanted to try something new, try something earlier stage.
Yeah, it seems that way. Well, listen, it's a great site. It's really well done, and I think you're in the right market affiliate. And social commerce, gosh, it feels like it's the first inning. I mean, finally somebody got it right with Fab and the Fancy and Pinterest, so you're in a really fertile area, and we're certainly going to be watching it. If people were interested in working for you and joining the team, I'm assuming first name at refer.com. startup.ly would work.
Yes, absolutely. Or referrally/jobs, and you can apply right on the site as well.
There you have it. And you can follow Danielle Morrill on Twitter at Danielle, Morrill. And it's been a pleasure to have you on the program. Thanks for coming on, and continued success with it.
Great. Thank you, Jason.
Cheers now. Bye. And thank you to our friends at SendGrid for making this possible. If you have transactional emails, which all startups really need to have, go ahead and give them a shot. And if you have a suggestion for who should be the startup of the week, very simple. Just send it to team@thisweekend.com, and hopefully we'll have somebody great on the program. We'll see you next time on This Week in Startups.
Oh, she's already gone. Dang, she's fast.